What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classic Line blog. You know I want to say God bless America when I'm standing beside the American flag. And I just want you guys to thank you so much for all your well wishes on, I'm telling my birthdays, passings of my family, this channel, buildings, new construction, old construction, rentals. Listen, the best is yet to come. Thank you so much for the 10 years on this channel. And I just want to thank you for all the things that you guys have contributed to my life and that I contribute to yours. And so listen, I hope this year can be even better, and I hope you grab the book, All Roads Lead to Real Estate. We're talking about digital real estate, online to the real dirt in your hand, and we'll have lots of good commentary inside that book to help you navigate. How can you grow in this economy and also grow and play Monopoly in real life for you and your family? You guys, this doesn't have to be the worst time in our economy. It can be one of the best if you make a decision and move forward in your life. This is your girl, Erica. Thank you.
What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Erica from the Classic Line blog. If you guys can see how ghetto rigged this is in this car, you would laugh your butt off. Long in the story short, I'm gonna have to adjust it, I already know. Long in the story short, listen, I see today people are like, it's the worst time ever. You can't even afford tickets. You can't even afford burgers. It's the worst time ever, Erica. And I'm like, what happened? Why can't we afford burgers? Why can't we afford the good times? What's happening, right? So anyway, you guys, listen, come in, drop your city and state in the chat. Help your girl out. I just want to share this because, you know, productive folks mimic each other. Productive folks will be fine. If you're unproductive, this is why when people say, well, how can we break poverty? How can we break the chains of children living in the projects, doing Section 8, doing crime? How can we stop them? You know, most people can say, we just need the church, man. We need more Jesus. That's if we had more Jesus, everybody would act like they had sense. And I go, you know what? That sounds great. It really does. But people need to be what? Productive. Bad times will persist. You know, if you ask people in the 1970s, it was the worst of times. You ask poor people in the 1980s, it was the worst of times. You see pictures of Brooklyn and New York and some of those hood areas, you're like, what happened over here? It was the worst times, Erica. You ask some people in the 90s. Now, most black people, they stuck on 1994. They're going to tell you about how great the 90s was. It was so great. You know, feel good 90s, Bill Clinton, right? Is it choppy? Uh-oh. If it's choppy, I might have to cut it. Y'all let me know, is the video choppy? Let me know. It may be, and I just pre-record something and put it out. If it is, it's okay. I'll just pre-record something and put it out. But let me know in the comments. Is it choppy right now? Drop it in the comments. Let me know. Is it choppy? Let me know. Is it? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, let's keep it moving. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, so why did I start? And if it is choppy, we can send it to our editor and he can remake the video after the audio's done. Why did I start talking about mobile notary in the beginning? I started talking about mobile notary in the beginning because it was a way for people to get access to a system, to a template, to something they could follow. And then Andre was showing a great way how to do things. Okay, yeah, I see that. Was he showing a great way how to do things. And then on top of that, he was like, hey, you can run a few ads, Google ads, you can start developing and breaking out. And people were like, oh my God. Oh, wow, this is awesome. All I have to do is follow this template. All I have to do is follow a few steps and I can get it and I can do it. Like if I just follow a few steps, great. You know, so once it's good enough. Listen, man, it's going to be a day. It's going to be a day. You know, it is what it is. So if I follow these steps, I now have a new skill. I now have a new opportunity. I can go do something different, right? And so that's why I started promoting mobile notary. It was easy for people to get into. It was good information. It was ready for them to go, right? Okay, cool, great. And so then I said, you know why people become real estate agents, right? They become real estate agents because it's the first time someone told them you can create your own schedule. Now, what you do with that schedule is on you. So these people started showing you what they do with their schedule. A bunch of nothing. They take in pictures. They want you to see their BBL. They want you to see how cute they are in their photos and standing in front of houses. They running around figuring out why is life not working for them. And then when you talk to agents and you go, why aren't you on social media showing me houses? Why aren't you showing me apartments? Why aren't you giving webinar classes on how to buy your first home? Why aren't you training? Why aren't you giving people free Saturday classes on what's first time home buyer, or partnering with mortgage agents? Because what they realize is productive people are mimic productive people. People that go, I want to do it my own way. I want to do it my way. I start laughing when I hear that, because guess what? Somebody's already did it your way and it didn't work. Now, if you find me somebody who did it, they did it this way, Erica, and it worked, I'll go, great. Now you follow it too. But half the time y'all tell me about somebody who did it a unique way, and there's some millionaire's kid. I was going to do a video probably sometime next week, because I'm in Tennessee right now. That's why it's so crazy. And I was going to tell you about all these second generation actors. There's a show on Netflix. It's got it's Pitt or something to that effect. Every single person in the show is a second generation actor. Their parents just did movies in the 90s and 2000s. And you go, well, what does that matter? A low budget TV show that they're filming on a hospital setting, which is really just, if you've ever seen Kev on Stage does a whole hospital setting for one of his shows. And it's basically a giant one room. And they make all the computer noise and the mimicking the hospital. And that's what this is. This is a low budget ER. It's a low budget medical show. And they've got those medical shows down to such a T, because they know women will watch it. It's cheap to put together and produce, and they can do it all the time. So you see this show, and I think I'm gonna put it back up here. Let's see if this will work. I might put it right here. Let me see. It's ghetto in here, y'all. We're trying to do a very ghetto rig setup on vacation. And listen, when your man's watching the sports on the TV, you have the room, baby, have it. Let me go over here. So when you're trying to look at this show, and I'm from a producer kind of mind, a creator, I wonder how much it costs to produce this show. I wonder how much they pay the salaries. I wonder how many people are on staff. I'm all over, how are they producing this show, right? I'm not even thinking of, I wonder who's on the show. What's going on in the show? How's it happening? I don't care about any of that. I'm just doing the math in my head. And then if the show's great, I watch it. Same thing with Game of Thrones and stuff. When you see the really cheap budgets, they didn't believe in the show. And so someone said, well, what does that matter, Erica, that they're all second generation actors? They all had to do, roll call, and they all had to do acting. I said, imagine if you were on the first floor of a building and all your parents are firefighters. Now I know people believe it. No, my parents going to come in as a firefighter and rescue everybody else in the building first. Sorry. No. And because you're a firefighter's kid, you might be smart enough to know how to get everybody out on your floor. Everybody come out. But are you, as a firefighter's kid, going to go upstairs and rescue people? No, because you're not a firefighter. You don't have the years of experience. You're just a firefighter's kid. Okay? You have some suggestions, but you're not a firefighter, right? And so what I'm telling people is, you guys aren't even in the building on the first floor. You're on the second, third, and fourth floor, waiting on the firefighters to come get you. Their kids are on the first floor and just went out the front door. They're like, everybody come on. It's a fire. Everybody, let's go out right now. So when you talk to people and they're like, yeah, I'm going to jump off the fourth floor, and you're going to break your leg. I'm going to just move to Atlanta and be an actor. You saw that woman. She missed all the steps where she could have been acting in her hometown. She could have been in the local plays. She could have been doing commercials, auditioning for commercials. She could have been in TV shows. She skipped 27 steps to go to, I'm going to move to Atlanta and be on TV and be an actress. And so what I tell people is, productive people follow productive people. People who listen usually do well. People who say, I saw somebody else do it, so I know I can do it. I saw somebody make the right steps, Erica, so I can just follow those steps. That's usually how that goes, right? They usually see somebody doing the work and then they follow it. Okay. And so when I sit here and y'all argue with me about sports and how all these NIL kids are going to do so well, listen, I keep running into families who are like, my cousin, my nephew, my whoever, they got $500,000 and it's already gone. You're not going to be a first generation kid with no exposure to financials, no exposure to stability, won't listen to common sense, won't listen to advice given by elders, and think you're going to show up. Because again, being in sports It's a very pride thing because you have very unique talent and people are kissing your butt all the time because you have a very unique talent. I played tennis in high school. I'm talking about high level tennis. You know, what I thought was high level time. It really wasn't because I was getting whooped once I got to big level. I was getting whooped. I was like, dang. And the way those kids acted, you would have thought those were football players. The way some of those second, third generation tennis players were acting, you would have thought they were Richie McRich out there. Why? Because they had the blueprint and they had the confidence to follow the blueprint. We have a lot of people in our community, and I love our community. You know, when I talk about natives and black and all stuff, I love minorities in America just because we are so resilient. I love Italian stories, right? We always talk about, you know, when we talk about Italian stories, we're always referring to mobsters and stuff. But you got to think about it. To be in the mafia, to come to a new country where you're very dark, you're a white person, but you're a dark white person, and they're going to try to repeat what they did in Europe on your family. Don't do that, Car. Cut it out. Right? They're going to try to repeat what they did overseas in America. And y'all like, nah, we ain't having it. And so now you got a portion of Italians, not all, a portion of Italians had to say, you know what? We got to revert back to the old ways. But what y'all not going to do is mess with these new Italians, right? Italian Americans. But they kept what? Productive people being productive. They kept it moving, right? So when I talk about mobile notary, when I talk about real estate agents, when I talk about sales, the reason it was so easy for the past, I'm going to say 4 years, for so many Latinos, African Americans, and white people to go into tech sales is because it's sales. Companies are still buying. Tech companies are still hiring for salespeople. Yes, you're like, Erica, you're in Austin, you don't know. I promise you, I move around. I check stuff. I go on Indeed. I talk with recruiters. People are still making money off those companies and people are still getting hired. It's one of the easiest levels to get in. And once you get in there, you're like, well, you know what? Sales might not be for me anymore. I want to be more technical. What does that require? That requires you to go study. So when people are like, it's the worst time, America. Oh, Lord, Google laid off everybody and everybody's getting fired. Baby, they did not lay off all the engineers. They did not lay off all the salespeople. Right now, Dell just hired even more salespeople. What they are doing is they're shuffling the deck. Some of them people that's been on the payroll forever, yeah, they up out of there. We have friends who now have to drive to work 5 days a week. They're like, oh, no, I'm good. And you're like, what do you mean you good? Oh, I got rentals. I got other stuff. I want to work at a company that lets me be home 2-3 days a week. People have already been spoiled, right? But when they're productive, companies like, I'd rather take the productive person coming in 2 days a week than force what I'm going to call the mid-level players to come in every day. Because what you're trying to do is drive them away. Right? So bad times will persist. What's next, right? So then when I talk about digital real estate, I talk about, hey, listen, man, you want to have a website, you want to have an Instagram, and the Instagram's absolutely free, and you're literally posting 1 to 3 times a day. I've done that for years, made tons of money with it, right? I sit here and show you, if you want to create a website and drive traffic to it, you want to spend a couple hundreds a month making this website viable, searchable. You want to write a blog, you want to do anything. You want to do Amazon reviews. You want to review products. You know, you want to be consistent on it. You want to build the 4 C's, which drive everybody crazy: coaching, community, courses. What did I say? Coaching, community, consulting, courses. The 4 C's of, oh my God, they made a course. They're the worst. And you know why? I'm watching a couple right now, young couple, and they literally are giving it away for free. They're giving every single bit of their information away for free. Of course, you know what I want. It's just so ghetto in the car right now. It's so ghetto. Let me see. Okay, I see. All right. You're on Grey's Anatomy. Sorry. This phone. Somebody, you know, people be texting you right when you're doing your show. Hold on 1 second. It's ghetto in here, y'all. It's so ghetto today. I apologize for the ghetto set. This is so ghetto. But I didn't want to go in this other part of the hotel. I said, no, I'm good. I'm gonna do it in here. But it's ghetto. And y'all just got to work. Y'all just got to work with me, okay? So we're talking about digital real estate. I'm saying, okay, you want to do that? Oh no. I don't want to post on Instagram all day. I'm too mature for that. No problem. I don't even like Instagram like that. You know why? Because it's worrisome. It's very, very worrisome. Okay. For many reasons, it's very worrisome to me. You can run ads and you don't have to be on there. You don't have to post. You literally have one or two posts, and you just let them run and let them rock. Oh, Eric, I don't want to spend money. What part of bad times will persist? What's next? Will you? The reason I put the little possum on the screen, I don't know if you guys see the t-shirt. That's how it is. People out here like, bad times. It's bad times. Okay, so what? What are you going to do about it? Erica, the music concerts are expensive. People love experiences. The one thing on money you don't regret spending is experiences. There, even if a concert sucked, it had problems, it rained, I slipped and fell in the mud, anything happened at a concert, you'd be like, oh man, that concert, it sucked. I wish I didn't spend my money. I've never been to one concert where I was like, man, that was a waste of money. Not one. Even when they were bad, even when the artists looked drunk, even when they look old, you're buying experiences. It is a luxury item. It's a luxury event. So to be like, I can't believe you can't pay $20 and get a luxury event anymore. No, you can't. I can't believe Five Guys charges you $25. It don't charge that much, but I'm just being dramatic. Charge you $25 for burgers. I'm real sorry. That's quality food, quality meat is a luxury item. Right? Studies show poor women who cook at home every day and extra wealthy women who have, chefs and nutritionists have the same levels of health, right? Not everything, because you're gonna be like, what about the Botox and the lip filler and the booties and the suntan? Not everything, just as far as the nutrition, right? Even though the poor woman's eating something cheap, it's not processed. It's in the scary middle, what we call the massive middle. If you've been on this channel for years, we call it the massive middle, where these people who think they're middle class, they going out to eat all the time. They going to Chili's, eating microwave food. Okay, they're going to Texas Roadhouse every Friday. They go to get the pizza every Friday. They fill up their week with some KFC on Wednesday. And then, at Tuesday, they had to go get their extra other fast food burger from Wendy's. Like, I'm talking about those people who have just enough money in this economy to be like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get that 4 for $4. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go get that. I'm going to get that Arby's roast beef sandwich that's questionable. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get the Bojangles every daggone couple of days, right? So, and I love Bojangles. Don't get it twisted. I'm in Tennessee and I was like, where's the Bojangles? The closest Bojangles. Find me the crack. I need the Bowberries. Find me the crack. I need it. I need it in my life. Just one day. And then we'll keep eating healthy salads, but I need the Bojangles. But the studies show that. And so why? Because the poor woman has to cook the food. And what you're starting to see is all these people who have to cook the food. They have to cook the food because they're broke and they're poor. Why do you think cookbooks are the #1 selling item in the whole United States on Amazon for 6 years in a row? Cookbooks. Because these mamas are busy. These daddies are busy. They are teaching y'all just enough to get by, right? And so when these kids are like, I don't have no money, they're like, well, have you gone to the store and bought spaghetti? Spaghetti? I'm tired of eating spaghetti. Well, guess what? You're going to have to get creative, right? But what the difference is they're cooking the food. That's why they're comparable on the scale. And the massive middle has enough money to be like, well, I can go still eat junk. I got money. I got 4 for $4 money, baby. I got, steak and shake money. I got steak and cheese money. Like we're in the area where we're at. It's nothing but a bunch of chains and they busting. The lines are long. We're like, well, God, we want to support the local businesses. The little man, the local unique place. That's our thing, right? We like to support, the local business that got good reviews and maybe they're overlooked. And that's the reason we support those is because usually they really have to cook the food. They're not a chain that can just go, hey, y'all send me them potato flakes that we pour water in at KFC so we can have mashed potatoes. No, they back there skinning potatoes and cooking. So yes, eating out and burgers made from scratch are a luxury. Guess what? What are you going to do about it? Right? And so when we talk about these NLI kids, and I know I'm kind of over the place, but when we talk about these NLI kids, we talk about all that stuff. You're trying to prep people for, I can give you 250,000 right now, depending on your level of maturity. And I'll just being honest with you, and depending on if you ever hit some big money, I'll come back to you in 6 months to a year, and that money will be gone, hands down. I think Diamond Dave did video. I didn't get to catch it because I was actually out looking at land lots, putting more stuff into the land grab course, which we'll have so much content next week. We're gonna have content put in it till like May 8th. I think I have like 6 more videos to put in there, maybe 7. And so after May 5th, I'll make the course $497 because it just is what it is. It's my time. It's my time. And I'm using my time to teach a skill, teach a method to let you have motion. So I'm here in this area, and you would think, man, these houses are cheap. Land's cheap. Why aren't these people taking action? Because the programming is so good. What is the programming? The programming in America, and this is why immigrants come here and eat our lunch every day and twice on Sunday, is, you know what? I'm doing all right. The programming in America is, we living over here. Ain't nobody busted the windows out our car. You know, sometimes people still over here, but it's okay. Right? Our kids go to school. They don't bother me. They having to fight every other week, but that's okay. You know, they ain't broke a bone yet, right? We got a car we want to drive, probably a Nissan Altima. You know, probably they might have upgraded to a Hyundai, right? We're okay. It's okay. But if emergency happens, if their grandma gets sick, if their mama gets sick, if anything happens, they stuck like Chuck. I don't know what to do. It's the times. It's so bad out here. It's the economy. When we lived in Alaska in the late 1990s, it cost my mom and my dad at the time to fly. It was like me, my brother, my sister, and my cousin was with us for a little bit, to fly back to North Carolina. I mean, I'm talking about thousands. Like, you would think, no, it's like a $300. No. 1990s, it was close to, I think my mom had paid one time, she showed me, like $2,000 or $2,500. And she was like, it was so hard. And even now, North Carolina to Alaska, so we do this often, it's going to cost us about $600 to $900, depending on if we want to fly first class, depending on how we want to have fewer stops. It costs what it costs. And so when you talk to people and they're like, well, what did your family do? That nobody can pay $2,000 in the 1990s. Guess what my parents did sometimes? They got in that truck. They got down on right to the little part of Alaska. They got on the ferry. The ferry took our truck across to Seattle, right? And it's above Seattle, but to Washington State. And our cousin, or depending on who was in our family, rode with our parents. And we did a cross-country road trip, baby. A cross-country road trip with the kids, okay? And when people hear that, they go, oh, that's crazy. I would never do that. Oops. Thank you, Omega Curry. I appreciate it. I really do. I really feel bad. Y'all can't really see the comments because it's janky. This is Ghetto Day Productions, and I don't have my other phone, so I really apologize. It's real ghetto right now. My other phone's in the room. I just walked right out. Didn't even think about it. And so I will read your comments later, but leave me a bunch of juicy comments. And if you're you got a wrench in here, please make sure people not being crazy. Hit the comments, hit the block ministry if we have to. Please, y'all know how I am. Please help me. And so when people ask my parents, how do you do it? I mean, how are you doing a road trip like that? Well, we all take turns driving, and we stop and we eat food and we make sandwiches. And it's like, you know, I don't know, that TV show with, what's the TV movie where they had the road trip? It was Chevy Chase and his family having that road trip. It is like that for a lot of Americans. It's going to be bad times. It's going to be expensive. What are you going to do? You're going to pay. You're going to do a road trip. You're going to figure out, how do we get to grandma's house? See, this is why back in the day, if you came to America and you immigrated to America, you wrote home letters to Europe and Italy, but you don't know if they got them till you got something back. When you moved, you got on the train and you left New York or you left the South, your family was crying because they knew they weren't going to see you no more. They said, oh, Lord, he gone. He gone. It was like you died. Because guess what? If you asked them back then, it was bad times too. If you asked them, it was bad times. Now, the data can show y'all, we changed the definition of what recession is. But if you actually go by the original definition, 2 quarters of lost, I'm not going to beat this up, but we were in it since October 22nd. October 2022. We have. I don't care what y'all say. And how do I know? Because I'm excuse my language. I'm a business owner, and banks were asking for you to resubmit financials. Everybody loves Christy, or Christy knows best. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Put it in the comments. Do you know what I'm talking about? Christy knows best. Put it in the comments. If you know the show I'm talking about, Christy, he was a white man, blonde hair, doing the little sashi. You know what I'm saying? He had over like $80 million in bank loans. And it was just who you know. You're competing with people who can just go down to the little Clarks, Tennessee over here, and go over here to Franklin, Tennessee, and Nashville. They can just go to the local community bank and fill out forms and have $80 million in cash. And when the law comes and says, wait a minute, what's going on? And he submits paperwork and they go, man, we just gonna forgive $50 million. And then the other bank's like, we can't eat it. That's how Chris Christie got caught up, because we were in a recession and banks were asking bank owners, business owners, and real estate people, hey, show me what's up. How do I know? I closed on a loan one time and they were like, hey, you got this property over here? I'm like, yeah, I got it. Show us your insurance. I said, what's that got to do with anything? Show us the insurance or we won't close on this loan. I said, what this property over here got to do with this property? Show us the insurance. Because really what they were doing, banks were looking for a no. And also banks were looking for a way, like, if all goes south, she has things we can take back from her. We have things that we can recruit. This is a person we can take money from. This is a person we can recruit some. Like, I don't know if y'all know American Express. American Express, out of all the credit cards, is the one you don't want to play with. Why? American Express sues people. American Express is the heavy hitter of suing, not Chase, not these little small credit unions. American Express. American Express will come to court in your small town. Hey, hi, we're in Biloxi, Mississippi, looking for this person. Yeah, we're looking for them. We're not playing. And that is how, when people told me in 2022 and 2023 that their lines at American Express, all these places got cut, I already knew we was in a recession, y'all. This was the time people had to refinance on loans. This was the time that commercial buildings had to refinance. That's why they're selling them for nothing, pennies on the dollar, right? And it's a trickle up and it's a trickle down effect, right? And so when I sit here and talk to you about land, I talk to you about housing, people will always need housing. People will always need somewhere to stay. People will move further and further out to get $400 rent, $500 rent. The cities and states know, like, ooh, it might get bad, right? It might get bad. We got a lot of low income people. You know what we're going to do? Build the projects out on the county, right at the county line, and send all them people over there. Send all them people over there. We don't want them people in the city no more. Get them over there. And so maybe we have a chance to get some new people in the city that have money in their pocket. Why? Because productive people mimic productive people. Unproductive people, generationally unsuccessful people, copy and mimic what their parents do. They have multiple studies where they studied Hispanic children, thousands of them in Texas for 25 years. The government paid this man beautiful grant money, to research money, to study these, I think it was 7,000 or 8,000 Hispanic children spread across like multiple areas. And he followed them from kindergarten on, because the government wanted to be like, oh my God, we have all this Hispanic people and the population is going to change. What are we going to do? They're like, look, we're going to study these children. And I'm going to show you, these children will assimilate into society. They'll become doctors, lawyers, nurses, and it'll be fine. Guess what? 20 to almost 25 years later, after study was done, these kids 95% of the time become exactly what their parents are: construction, cleaning, service businesses, home-based service businesses, and they just do it at the next level. All right. The amount of doctors and lawyers, I mean, lawyers was real low, of Latinos in America is like, it's worse than the black condition, right? Like, they're like, black people always want to be doctors and lawyers. They study these Latino children. They say, oh my God, what are we going to do? They don't know, right? Because they had a replacement theory. Okay, so what, this particular, population becomes huge, they'll just replace all the doctors, the nurses, the medical people, the scientists. That's not always true. People mimic what their parents do. And there's nothing wrong with these Latino children doing what their parents do. Not a thing. It's America. do what you do well, buy a home, enjoy your life, right? But what it shows is the power of average, the power of following your parents. You will do what your parents have done unless you have a major interjection of change. And what is that? That's even if you move to a new city. I've seen Black people literally go from Chicago, New York. They're gonna go to St. Louis. They're gonna go to what's that? Memphis, Tennessee. They're gonna go to Dallas. They're gonna go to Houston. They're gonna go to parts of Florida. Oh, we're going to Orlando. Well, what you gonna do down there? We're gonna get a job, and what are you gonna do? They're gonna go be in food service in another city. They're gonna go be in service jobs in another city. They're gonna go to another city, be in the same condition, somewhat better sometimes, but because the cost of living is less. But they're gonna be doing the same stuff because they haven't had a massive interjection of, hey, this ain't working. Like, hey, hospitality jobs, do they pay? Yeah, but not much. But that's why when they say, well, what are Black jobs? 50% of people that are Black work in service industry jobs, making under $35,000 a year. No, Erica, that's not true. My cousin and them and everybody got all this money and they're 6-figure entrepreneurs and my cousin and them. Why is side hustles and easy businesses under the start 5,000 one of the most popular topics on YouTube? The most researched, why are doom scrolling of, oh, America's in a depression, everything's the worst it's ever been? Why are these popular topics? They're popular topics because the bottom 50% of our country are not making money. And instead of hitting the head of like, okay, we need to do something different. I might have to go to school. I might have to change my career. I might have to get a new goal. We're trying to find a shortcut to patch our income, right? If you need 60K to make it in a city and you only make, let's give it, be nice, you only make 40. Now you're trying to figure out how to get this other 20. That's where you have these people doing Uber and DoorDashes, and they're trying to get second jobs, and they're trying to figure out how to do this stuff because they really need 60 and they have 40. Okay? Did I lose y'all? Is this making sense? You can put a 1 in the comments if you can. You know what I mean? Just, let your girl know if it's making sense. If it ain't, it's okay. I didn't mean to be here all night. It is what it is. Let me see if it'll scroll up. It ain't letting me scroll, do nothing. Be tripping. Land grant. There you go. Okay, but yeah. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate y'all for the comments. I can see a little bit. This thing is so ghetto. It's ghetto in here. It's a ghetto show. I can't believe this show's so ghetto. I'm having to angle the camera. I'm in here crunching a car. Okay. And so the part of me talking about this is bad times will persist. If you ask somebody 80 years old, they're going to tell you, man, oh my God, it's the worst time ever. The Donald Trumpers, the mega people, the police. And if you ask old people, you like, won't it bad in the 1950s? Oh yeah, it was bad. It was the worst time ever. Was it bad in the 60s? Oh my God, yeah, it was the worst time ever. Was it bad in the 70s? Oh my God, it was the worst time ever. Now your grandma out there with an afro dancing, skating ring, but it was the worst time ever. Right? You asked them how was the 80s. Oh my God, the gas embargo was the worst time ever. You asked them in the 90s, how was the 90s? Oh, thank God Bill Clinton got in there. It was really good. We had factory jobs and everything. And then NAFTA came and it was the worst time ever. Like, you have to understand who y'all are listening to get this advice and this data. It's very skewed. It's very, very skewed. And this is the ghetto production. I apologize in advance. It's very ghetto. I'll have to take this video down for Peter to chop it up somehow. But I want you to understand, if you allow people from the bottom 50% to always give you your advice, to always mold and shape you, there's nothing wrong with having good work ethic from working class people. But at some point in the journey, when we look at our elders and we look at people in our family and say, what is this person's most important need right now? And I'm going to be honest with y'all, it's land. It's land and housing. You're going to go and there's going to be part of the video. I hope I can record it. We recorded part of it today. And we just got Peter to put it together, I guess, how we're going to do it. There are people building these, like, they're not tiny homes, but they're just small square footage houses. And y'all going to see in maybe like a year or two, you're going to see all these videos talking about, the small houses are back in style. The small homes are back in style. You're going to see it because it takes a minute. But you're going to start seeing all these stories about the smaller houses are back in style. Why are you going to see this? Because we're building, I'd call it 1950s houses, to be honest. Houses that were like, if you've ever been to Detroit, they have those 800 square foot houses, tiny, 2-bedroom, 1 bath. And you go, who living in that? The elderly, the VA veterans, the older folks, the people who can afford it, the people who need somewhere to stay. They just need somewhere to stay so they're not homeless. They don't want to be in apartments. They don't qualify for the 3X rent for the apartments. They can't go to the old folks' home. They don't qualify. They don't have the money, and they don't want to give up whatever assets they have left just for the old folks' home to drain them all their money and put them in the worst side of the old folks' home. They ain't trying to do that. So they're going to go to places what we call second tier cities. Okay. We're going to have to call this, we're going to have to come up with a unique name for that because I'm a struggle with that for a while. And they're going to live and they're going to be comfortable. They're not going to do much. They're going to be at the house. They might have a dog. They might go to the grocery store, the Quick Trip. If you notice how much Quick Trips are picking up everywhere in the United States and 7-Elevens, they're going to go down to the store, the gas station, get a few snacks, little snacky snacks. And they're going to go back to their house because that's going to be their American dream. That's going to be their American dream. They got a nice little affordable place. They can afford the light bill. And they don't have to listen to nobody. They don't got to go live with their grown children, telling them what to do and making them babysit. Because that's the boomers' worst fear. I have to babysit these kids. Yes, you made all the silent generation and the grandparents before you babysit every kid. And now y'all can't babysit. It's a damn shame. And so what you have to understand is if depending on who you talk to, it's going to be the worst of times. It's the worst of times. But if you look at it, travel's up, hotels up, ski resorts sold out, places sold out. Well, it's all dead, Erica. It's all credit cards. What you're having is the bottom 50% that lack access, assets or have low assets are going to be struggling. You want to see a country where people have low assets? Go to the UK. Go to London, where people are working in like 48% of their income goes to their rent. 48 to 52% their whole life. They got dollar house programs in the UK where they have these old wartime houses. They built all these houses during the wartime when people came back from World War II. Because remember, I don't know if y'all remember, they bombed the hell out of London, right? They were bombing the crap out of it. Part of the reason one of my ex's family even came to America is because her father was a famous warehouse man. And when they bombed London, he couldn't recover. He basically was like, we have to leave and start over somewhere else. And they left and they went to America. So what you have to understand is massive events change the trajectory of any family, right? But they have these really cheap houses, what we would consider in Baltimore, row houses in London that y'all think is so beautiful and fancy, that have basically 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and the kitchen stuff is on the bottom floor. They not even fancy Baltimore row houses. They like cheap, 2-level, little bit of patio in the back, UK houses. They have a dollar house program like they had in Baltimore in the UK. The people have to spend $50,000 to $100,000 of their money to rehab the house. It's on its last leg. And what you have to understand is they're spending a huge amount of their money paying in rent because there's such low home ownership in that country. And if you let these people have their way, they're going to have y'all living like that. Where every dime is basically going to your rent. You're smashed in a less than 800 square foot house. You got just enough patio in the back, right? Again, go look at some of the videos of Philly houses. Go look at some of these videos. Like, these people are already living like that. They don't have to, but they are, right? This is America. They could go move around. They could do anything they want. And I want to keep stressing y'all. It's so important for y'all to move around and see other cities and how they do things, and a productive people with trades, people that do stuff, right? Because it's just going to show you bad times will persist. And unless you're productive, unless you have a system you're following, unless you can see over the other side of the fence that there's hope to do something new, y'all will continue to come on this internet. People will continue to cry. The bottom 50% will have the worst time ever in America. And people are rushing to get to America left and right because they're like, how much are houses? $180,000. No problem. We're leaving, Europe. They're leaving London. They're leaving Russia. They're leaving these places. They're leaving China. Oh, Erica, nobody with real money's leaving these countries. But that's just it. That's a story old as time. You have Indian people leaving and going to Jamaica and going to parts of Africa to what? Start anew. Because the only factor that is current in all these things I'm talking about tonight, I know it sounds like I hit a lot of topics, but it's land. The fact that they can come here and own a piece of land changes the trajectory of their lives. And the hidden story that many of you are not ready when you go in these different cities is the Latino people are coming in and going, this is the black side town? Okay. How much is this house? Okay, I'll buy. And I'm gonna work on it, and I'm gonna paint it, and I'm gonna clean the front yard, and I'm gonna make the roof get repaired, and I'm gonna make it do what it do. And I'm gonna keep it moving. Now you see these Latino people are like, oh, new construction? Okay, I can just level this old house, which honestly, a huge portion of a lot of these cities we in, they're gonna be leveling this stuff. Because the trick is like, let me go in here and fix this house. Nah, I'm telling y'all why flipping to a degree is dead in most cities. You look under these houses, you're talking about asbestos. You go under these houses, they rotted, flow about to fall through. You go in some of these old places and the quality of the brickwork, the stuff, you just name it, the fireplace, the chimneys, the whatever. It's not just Detroit, it's abysmal. And so you're thinking you're going to go in and flip it for 20, 30, 40. You're really going to put 60, 80, 100, 200 into it. When you could have just built new construction. You could have leveled that house, let the city level it for you, or pay the fee to level it, and then go right ahead and build something new for pennies on the dollar. But you're going to be like, Erica, I watched all these YouTube videos and these builders said it cost all this money. I said, nah, man, that's for the builders like D.R. Horton. That's for the builders. I'll save some of that. If you're in the land grab course, we'll do a whole breakdown next week, and I'll update the courses. But I just want you to understand, like, there's a massive shift going, and you have to decide probably pretty much in the next 2-3 years, our family gonna keep doing this? Are we gonna keep being a stagnant lake of water? Are y'all gonna keep being stagnant? Okay, that's y'all. If that's how y'all want to roll, that's what's gonna be, stagnant lakes of water. Or are we gonna do what? Grab a skill, grab some type of change, grab some type of elevation. For some of y'all, it's going to be leaving New York. For some of y'all, it's going to be leaving Chicago. And then they're going to be on the internet for the next 10 years. I'm down here in Dallas, but it ain't nothing like Chicago. I'm down here in Dallas, but it ain't New York. I'm down here. Instead of getting to Dallas like an immigrant and go, what can I get? What can I buy? What can I build? Where's the motion at? Who's active? You got to be hungry. You got to be paying attention. When you get to some of these cities, y'all got to really step your game up. And that's the problem when you're talking to, oh Lord, I didn't mean to do that. That's the problem. You're talking to some of these people. They don't realize that they're in a bad position, that they are poor, that they need to do what they got to do, that they got to launch. They got to change. It has to happen now. If it don't happen with them, their kids are going to face this problem. And I think a lot of people are okay with that. Well, I did the best. Your mama did the best she could. Every time I hear a black family say that, I already know their mama didn't do the best she could. I'm gonna go there. Every time I hear a black person say, your mama did the best she could. Your daddy, he just did the best he could. He was a crackhead, but he just did the best he could, baby. And be like, no, they didn't. They didn't even do the best for the people they know. They didn't even do the best they could for comparison to other people in the 1990s. They didn't even do the best they could in the county they was in. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to realize people are giving excuses already to the next generation. Well, the housing's so expensive. And I'm gonna wrap it up because this is, it's been a ghetto audio. But I want y'all to understand, why are people? Yeah, this is the ghetto series. I apologize. Why are people promoting y'all to not have assets? Why are channels? Because you're gonna say, oh, it's the doom scroller. Why are people saying, oh, I wouldn't buy stocks right now. I wouldn't put my money in the bank. I wouldn't even buy a house. I wouldn't even buy land, Erica. It's just, I wouldn't do it. Okay. Well, what are you gonna do with your money? I don't know. But then these same people, you talk to them. Girl, I went to the Beyonce concert. Girl, I went to this concert. Girl, I went to this restaurant. You know, you got to live while you can live, girl. You know, one life to live. Lolo, girl. Rolo or YOLO. What is it? YOLO. And these people are going to try to sell you on not having your shit together. And I want you to listen. Misery loves company. Misery loves company. Why are people selling you on not buying a house? Oh, girl, you know, I bought a house and it was a headache. But they whole family still living at that house. Anytime they got a problem, a cousin needs somewhere to stay, somebody need to move, they got people in that house. People still living in people's grandma houses to this day. Grandma been gone 20, 30 years. They in grandma's house right now. But they're convincing you, don't you buy a house. Don't you buy land, girl. It's not a good deal. It's a bad deal, girl. If you buy a house, girl, it's bad. Really? Okay. Don't you buy land, girl. I wouldn't buy no land down here. These people crazy down here. Right? But they out here with Hellcats. They out here with the Chargers. Man, we in one of these cities and I've never heard so many Ford trucks and Hellcat Chargers in my life. I said, this is crazy. These people, I know they're paying exorbitant prices for these vehicles. Exorbitant. Okay? And so what you have to understand is who makes money off selling you that? Who makes money? When Grant Cardone went on a mission for 5 years straight telling you not to buy a house, and this man is buying up billions of rental property. And every day somebody get online complaining about living in apartments, these cheap build apartments, these terrible apartments, these loud apartments. And then you say, why don't you buy a house? Oh man, I can't buy no house. It's the worst time ever to buy a house, Erica. Buy a house, Erica? Who buying houses out here? I see y'all got a lot of good stuff in here. I'm so tired. A lot of good comments. I appreciate all of them. Right? Oh, Lord. Y'all, this is the Ghetto Show. Listen, drop a one in the comments for the Ghetto Car Show, please. Give me a good old one in the comments for the Ghetto Car Show. I mean, I'm telling y'all, it's ghetto time. It's ghetto time. Hold on, let me see. Somebody says something here. You're not poor. The immigrant worship is nauseating. And yes, there are enough. Oh, God. Oh, no. So, immigrant worship. See, I shouldn't have read the comments. I should have just left. But we have to address it. Immigrant worship. Let me tell you something. If you live in America right now and you don't own any land or a house, baby, you're an immigrant. Listen. Let me take it up one more step further. When the levees flooded in New Orleans and they were putting them black people all out of Katrina and flying them all over the country, what were they calling them on the news? Let's really get there. Let's really get into it. Because I hate those comments, and I'm not going to attack you, Blackboard, but the fact that Black Americans will live in this country and white people, because white people going through, listen, I'm out here and these white people going through it. I mean, I'm talking about, we saw walkers. I'm like, is that a white lady walking and selling in the daylight? Oh my God. I want you to understand, if you don't own a house or any land, you're an immigrant, baby. They were calling them black people refugees. They had to come on the TV and say, stop calling these black people they've been flooded out of their home refugees. That's horrible. You guys are saying that. But what they were saying is, you are people who own no houses, who have no land, and you have nowhere to go. You're homeless. What? And so this idea that we're worshiping immigrants, when the truth is, the immigrant people are working at the KFC, they're working at the food service, they're cleaning toilets, they're doing the same thing that several African American people have done for generations. And when you ask the Jamaican, when you ask the immigrant, why you have it? You're in America. Why you don't own a home? Why don't you live somewhere better? Why don't you have a degree? Why don't you have a skill? We want to start cussing them out. We want to start saying, F you, Jamaican. We want to start cussing these people. Why are you cussing these people? Why are you cussing these people out? I really want you to think about it. They're asking you, why have you not been productive with your time? That's what they're asking you. Why are you in America 4 or 5 generations in? And yes, we're not that far removed from slavery. But if I ask you, man, my little cousin Junebug, he ain't doing shit out there in Atlanta. Just walking around, just he gonna get caught any day and go to jail. But there's free HVAC programs. There's free classes. Oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to climb and do roofs and do electrical. A person who has no home, no house, no land, can't be broke and picky, can't be broke and entitled. I get it. We fought and bled all over this country. We've built this country. No problem. Guess what? Unless your parents own some land or own any property, we're a country of assets. One time we were the asset. Ain't that something? We're still the damn asset. You know why? Because we come on these platforms. We come on these platforms. We make shows. We tap dancing. We singing. We jiving for the internet. We're still assets. You didn't know that? You don't get the concept of the whole show of being digital real estate? Did we not get that concept? Are we lost on the concept? All right? Are we, if that, I'm gonna chill out. I'm gonna chill out. Because I was about to go somewhere. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna just stop. I know the phone disrespectful, man. It's just disrespectful. You know what I mean? It just be disrespecting me. It's very ghetto. It's a very ghetto show. It's the ghetto. Yeah, even Boondocks. Even Boondocks was trolling the Katrina. Let me see, did I miss anything? I might have missed something. But long story short, I'm gonna get off my high horse on my rant. And this has been the ghetto hour. I apologize. But I want y'all to understand, all this being said, I gotta calm down. When I ask somebody, and what I've noticed is most people are trying to find a shortcut. If I say, hey man, if you just go work for 2 years, and you have your W-2s, and you don't buy no new car now, and you stack up a little bit of money, they got down payment assistance. I'm in one city right now, and they got $60,000 down payment assistance. There's a city in VA like that too. There's a couple of them. There's a ton of them. So there's over 5,000 cities in America right now. 5,000 cities in municipalities and counties. They break it down to so many little nowhere places, but they have down payment assistance in America. 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. Right? The Latinos in Texas, when people say, oh, yeah, these are American-born Latinos. These Latinos been here. And they told them, hey, you can get this house, new construction. You put $1,000 down. Bank of America, because they kept getting sued for how they did Black and Latino homeowners, they got to give you $17,000 down payment assistance. And you basically come to the closing table with no money. The builder going to close on the other percent, 2.5%. The person writing the mortgage going to, do a little 2% on there. So you basically come to the table with no money. And they was hitting that lick. I mean, I'm telling you, when I'm talking about the Latinos in Central Tech, they were running to it. They're like, oh, I got W-2s for 2 years. Yeah, I got W-2s for 2 years. I've been working consistent. I don't have a new car. And my debt to income ratio makes sense. They get in there. Anything worth having is not going to be easy. And I get it. People are like, why are you worshiping immigrants? I'm like, if you go look at Black people in America in 1920s and 1930s, we was kicking butt. We own more land during Jim Crow than we do now. So my question to you always is, what makes you think that you don't have to work hard? What makes you think you don't have to own land? What makes you think you don't have to own assets? Who's convincing you that's a bad deal? Right? When I'm sitting out here watching people for 6 months out of the year, for 6 months out of the year, not work, take time to take a deep compression of breath, like, okay, what can I do? How can I do this or that? It's because they own a house, because they own an RV, because they have a credit card, because they have a few stocks from their last job. They took some money out their 401k. But you have to sit here broke, stressed, about to have a heart attack, your blood pressure going through the roof, you're upset, and you have to keep working like a dog. But I talk to you about land or housing, or you can flip land for about 5 to 10K a month. I mean, we can help you, show you how to do it. Oh man, I ain't trying to do that, man. I ain't trying to do that, Erica. I ain't trying to do that. Okay. But you out here, AOS, how would say it, or FBA, depending on American descendant of slaves. Again, I can qualify, but I can't because our family actually owned slaves. But then she was rescued by her slaves after the Civil War and married one and had children, and that's how we're here. So it's kind of weird for me. I mean, if they got reparations, I'm gonna stand up in the line. I'm gonna stand up like, hey, thanks. Anyway, that's not gonna happen. But anyway, long story short, what I want you to understand is what makes you think you're going to change what makes America America. Why do these people come here? Diamond Dave did a great video. I mean, one of his best. He has quality stuff all the time. Those people came here because of land. They came here because of land. They needed land. They needed a way to have upward mobility. The same reason these people are crossing across the desert in Texas to come here. The same reason they're crawling across the border in Canada to get to New York. They are eventually going to spread out and buy more land. There's an area, and I will talk more about it maybe next year, or I'll talk about it in the circle event in October. It's nothing but Indian people owning land. And then they trying to recruit the local black people. Hey, if you know any houses, me and Raj buy houses. Y'all gonna see it. Y'all gonna start seeing it. It's a couple Indian groups that are doing flex commercial space, and they're buying houses. I'm talking about in big numbers. So now when the Rajas and the Durka and the whoever you want to call Dearborn, Michigan folk, the Muslims come and they come to your neighborhood and you're like, oh yeah, here, you can take this house. I don't care. It's my grandma's. I don't care about it. Who are we going to blame then? Who are we going to accuse of stealing your American dream then? You know what I'm saying? Like, again, listen. Yeah, it'd be one thing if somebody owned stocks, right? It'd be one thing if they own stocks. If y'all could, you know what I mean? It's a rough show. If y'all can help a girl out, it's a rough show. But it's just, I just want you to understand, who told y'all that bad times are gonna stop? It's gonna be good soon, the recession, when the rates come down. These people buying stocks every day. These people buying fractional share ownership of something every day. These people buying land, they have dropship courses, they starting websites, they starting businesses every day. And they're gonna keep doing it. Why? Because it's America. And for the past 200 plus years, we've been doing 3 ways: business, real estate, stocks. But your cousin gonna come and tell you, no, I'm gonna do this new thing. Baby, business, real estate, and stocks. At the end of the day, you need somewhere to stay, somewhere to lay, somewhere to sleep, somewhere to conduct business. You gotta pay somebody. Why do black businesses always cry on TV about the rent? Because they don't owe the building. Oh man, they raising the rent on the building. It's wrong. Okay. Now, in places like, Pflugerville, the black people starting to buy the businesses, buy the building. Great. If I show you, you can do a flex space, a 10 warehouse, all this other stuff. Oh, it's just, nobody want to be out there. It's always an excuse. It's always going to be some type of excuse why they don't want to do it, why they don't want to go over there. They don't want to, I don't want to be over there. And now these people in Baltimore, they putting them out to the middle of nowhere. Now they putting these people out in the middle of the Shimmy Plumes. Now these people out here, oh Lord, they done moved us even further out. So all I've done for the past 10 years on this channel, and I'm gonna wrap it up here, is try to show you that you can create wealth. There's a guy I really want to bring him on, but he's kind of radical. And what's funny about the whole ADOS and FBA folks is when you actually show them black people who are really about that life, who create their own freedom, they don't work for a white man. They own real estate. They own stocks. They own stuff. Oh man, everybody can't do that. Y'all don't really want to hear from those people, because they tend to be a little more conservative. They tend to be the responsibility people conversation. They tend to be pull yourself up by the bootstraps, and yes, group economics, but pull yourself up by the bootstraps people. Y'all don't really want to talk to those people. Y'all don't really want to hear from them because it comes with accountability. It comes with what you've been doing the past 5 years. And even on my channel, I go, listen, guess what? You didn't know. Say somebody didn't tell you. You didn't know. Your mama didn't tell you. Your daddy didn't tell you. Your cousin didn't tell you. Cool, no problem. You didn't know. But this internet told you. If you were searching for it, but if you were searching for big booty Betties, then you ain't see it. But this internet told you, right? This internet showed you. You know it's possible. This is why the people are coming across the desert. These are people getting on boats and ferries trying to get here so bad because they know it's possible. If somebody else can do it, I can do it. If somebody else shows me the template, I can just follow the template. You dig what I'm saying? That's why these people be online night and day. How can I trick and get a baby daddy baller? Okay, I'll work out, I'll get BBLs, I'll do all these things, I'll do 1,000 sit-ups a night, and then I'll stalk them at all the sporting events and all the nightclubs, basically be a prostitute so I can stalk these ballers. They will be that dedicated. I remember being in a Manosphere channel, and this man was saying he studies 4 hours a night Portuguese. And they were like, brother, when you find the time? When I leave my job, and guess what? He was a cook at a restaurant. When I leave my job, I go and study for 4 hours of Portuguese. And we like, why? So he can spend 2 weeks a year in Brazil chasing big booty Betties. You can't tell me if that brother spent that 4 hours studying anything else. Studying anything else, he would not be successful. He has the talent. He has the skill. He's just decided, I'm going to spend 4 hours every night studying Portuguese so I can chase the big booty Betties. You have that opportunity here in America. You on YouTube. You watching people like me, crazy people like me with this ghetto show I just did. Telling you want to buy some land. Do you want to flip some houses? Do you want to be a mobile notary? Do you want to get some certifications? Do you want to change your life? Okay, you listen to crazy people like me. But a reason I tell y'all this is I've sat in rooms. And I know from the ghetto-ness of this show, you wouldn't believe it. But I literally make more money than certain doctors. Not the specialists, but certain doctors. And I'm sitting in a room with young white men who they know it's possible. If this curly haired black girl can do it, I can do it. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I've literally gotten that kind of pushback answer. And I just want y'all to understand, like, it's teachable. It's learnable. It might not. I mean, Diamond Dave the other day said it took him 5 years to hit his goal. And somebody in the comments immediately said, 5 years? I want to go in the comments and be like, if you don't shut your mouth. But that's how people think. If it don't happen in 90 days, damn, America, it's going to take more than 90 days. It might. It might. Might take more than 90 days, baby. I'm sorry. It might. So, with that being said, I hope you observed the channel. I hope you learned something from the channel. I hope any of the millions of videos we've done with all the links that are underneath the videos have brought you to some enlightenment that, man, maybe I should try this, or I should look at this, or I should study this. I should figure out how to have motion, because if I'm going to fight with the immigrant people that know how to fix a house, but I don't, what's the level for me to get in? Because the next 20, 30 years in America is going to be fixing, building, repairing houses and repairing cities and construction. I show y'all videos on Atlanta nonstop, billions of dollars going to Atlanta. Are you going to get any of those billions of dollars going to Atlanta? Can you fix anything? No, I can't, Erica. Can you do the paperwork? Oh, I don't know about the paperwork. Can you do anything that's tied to the money that is the motion in your country? You can't own a Chinese restaurant because you ain't Chinese. You can't own a Jamaican place because you ain't Jamaican. You can't own an Indian place because you ain't Indian. If you do own a food place, then Wallow gonna talk bad about you, and Wallow gonna say, nigga, is your food good, right? You have to understand, what are you gonna do in this country so that you persist? Because bad times will persist, but will you? Will you make it? Will your cousins make it? Will your family make it? Because I just want you to understand, I literally teach my nephews. I'm literally doing everything right now for my nephews and my children. That's it. The few people that we hit with the inner circle this summer, come on, let's go. Let's do this. Here. I got a couple extra land lots here. Take this one. Build right beside me. Here, use the same people I'm using. Use the same money I'm using. Here's the banker. Here's the person. I don't have time to play this goofy game because I know the math and I know the time. I literally know people who built an apartment complex in Texas. And I remember talking with him, and he was so ready to go. I said, baby, we ain't gonna be able to roll with him. He ready to build today. He ready to do 20 million today. And 3 years later, that man done built 3 apartment complexes. It's all time. Like, I'm not even gonna catch all the people that I want to catch, but I'm at least trying to offer it as I go out the door. At least out the door, I'm just saying, hey, as I go out the door, as I'm leaving, as I'm collecting my coins, I just made sure I told you about it. You know what I mean? If you ain't saying nothing, Erica told me about it. All right. So listen, this your girl Erica, Classic On Blog. I'm out of here. I got to get back in here. It's been hot as hell. This car's been off, as you can tell. I'm in the South. It's hot. I'm glistening. The phone is dropping. Man, I don't even ask y'all for no super chats. Just hit the like button and like the show for your girl. I appreciate y'all. Have a great night.
This is Brandy Williams of Williams Accounting and Tax Services, located in McDonough, Georgia, WilliamsActTax.com, giving a testimony to Erica Williams. Just want to thank you for all your encouragement and support. I am out here at a photo shoot for my second flip that we just finished, my first JV, which went very well. Got a book coming, Flipping with Friends in 45 days. Again, I will rave again and again about that boat party and winery that just changed my life. I met so many people, and I won't name all the names, but you know who you are. Again, I thank you for your support, and there's more to come. 2025 is just getting started. Y'all check out Erica Williams. Get the game, execute, and keep your documentation. Thank you, y'all. Bye.